Hey funky souls, how you guys doing today? I'm Ikaro with the Funky High Vibes, and I'm titling this video Interfere because to be honest with you, I woke up this morning with just that word in my head and immediately had to write it down, and by the title you guys know what I mean by it, but I wrote it down and it's inter/fear. So I just woke up with that word in my head and I kept thinking about it and I was like, okay, it's not the word interfere, but of course it's here. Because I had that dash fear, so I think there's an interference of fear, or rather, fear is interfering us in some way. Maybe for us to move forward, maybe we've fallen into fear. We're not sure how to move through it. But I just woke up with that word in my head, specifically like this. And I was like, I have to write it down before I forget. And I haven't forgotten. I kept thinking about it throughout the day. And it didn't feel just mine. This is for the collective. So I'm not sure where this video is going to go, but we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna pull some cards and see what this word means. So I'm gonna just kind of like, to get myself tuned in, I got this spray. It's a spiritual spray, Samadhi, the wild lily. It's a meditation spray to clear negative energy and guide you in connecting with the voice of your soul. I love that. I got it here in my local spiritual shop. Okay, interesting. It's not spraying. As you guys can see, it's not spraying. And I've used this before. As you can see, it's kind of not too low, but I've used it. So, okay. So this actually, okay, this feels very symbolic. We want this energy to come out of here. We want to clear negative energy so we can hear our guides, so we can hear the voice within our souls. But there's an interference. It's not going. Interesting. So this feels very symbolic. It feels like we're trying to clear some stuff away, but the energy is not coming out. Okay, I have another spray. Oh, right here. Okay, I have another spray that we're just gonna kind of go for it. I also got it at my local metaphysical store. It's the Archangel Metatron spray. So, okay, so this one is coming out. So I think Archangel Metatron wants to come through today. If you guys are not familiar with sprays, I love them. I don't use them a lot in my videos, like in the videos, but I actually use them a lot prior to the videos to prep myself for these videos. I also prep myself if I'm reading for myself or for a client. You know, it's kind of my own private ritual, but I just wanted to come on today and I just kind of turned on my camera and I was like, okay, let's just go with the flow. And I hadn't sprayed myself today, so I guess we were meant to see this block. I think Archangel Metatron and our guides in general wanted a visual representation of what the interfere means. Okay, awesome. So let's get started. I'm going to pull a crystal oracle card. Again, I'm just kind of going with the flow here. Just kind of going with what I'm feeling. But let's see a crystal. Oh, cool. Very interesting. I've been using this, it's right here with me. Oh my God. It's right here on my desk. I've been using this piece of crystal for weeks now. Pretty much every day I wear it. So without further ado, we got the Moonstone. We got the card of the Moonstone, and it says Moon Cycles, Crown Chakra. So it feels to me like we are ascending. I think a lot of us are waking up to our spiritual gifts. We all have them. You know, I don't subscribe to the idea that because I read cards, you can't. Everyone can. It's almost to me like, you know, if in school, right? We all went to school. Some kids are better at math. Some kids are better at art. Some kids are scientists, right? That doesn't make them less or more smart. It just means that we relate with things differently. I love the cards, obviously. I associate with them. I relate to them. They speak to me in a profound way. Other people prefer shamanic traditions. Other people prefer Reiki, and they download messages through that divine light. So other people prefer runes, or even, you know, these are oracle cards. I like all types of cards, tarot and oracle. Some people just prefer meditation. They don't really want to deal with cards or things like that, and that's totally cool. So we are waking up with the crown chakra here to our own unique abilities. But maybe the interfere is that we are blocking our crown chakra from really opening and receiving that divine light. We're falling into fear, because I understand it. Listen, I get it. To be able to divine, right? To be able to use these kinds of divination tools, to use crystals, to use, and to be able to, and to start relating with spirit guides or, you know, angels or whatever. I think a lot of us fall into fear because, one, it's very unfamiliar. We're not taught to embrace those things in school or in life, really, unless you have really awesome parents who are very open-minded. But in the mainstream, we're taught to fear ghosts, right? We're taught to fear spirits or anything that's unseen or unknown because it's unfamiliar. So I think a lot of us are definitely waking up, which is a good thing, but we're falling into fear because it's unfamiliar territory. We don't know what to do or how to act around it or how to take it in even. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards. I also want to say that there is a lot of information out there. You know, not everyone, I was going to say everyone, but a lot of people, you know, we are spiritual teachers and healers. And a lot of us, which is awesome, abundance for all, we all want to grow and create our business because we want to heal and reach people and teach people. But there can be, and there seems to be, a lot of information that can be contradicting, or just not even contradicting. I don't want to say that because it usually means opposites, but there are contradicting opinions out there from different people, but they're also just different points of view. Some people cannot believe in spirit guides, and they just fully believe in the power of their connection between themselves and their spirituality as a body, as a soul, and that soul connection to God or source. There's really nothing in between. Whatever it is that you hear is just guidance directly from source. And I believe that too, to a certain extent. I believe in spirit guides. I believe in deities and angels. But I actually believe that they're just manifestations of God, of source, that are perhaps more relatable to us, because I think a lot of us I like to personify an energy. You know, we gave archangels names and personalities and even a physical body even. You know, you can find paintings and not photography, but paintings and 3D renderings and artwork of these archangels, of gods and goddesses, Goddess Isis, Lord Ganesh, Kuan Yin, all these different energies that we've personified. Because to us, because we are people, we are human, we are persons, it's relatable. It's very relatable. So I think that's why we do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm actually saying it's totally awesome because it makes the idea of God and source and the whole universe more digestible and tangible and understandable to us as a personal, and it helps us create that personal connection with source. So just going back a little bit, we got the moonstone. Also, I want to say that we are very close to the full moon. I guess we're up maybe about halfway to the full moon in the making of this video, but it doesn't matter because the moon is always cycling, right? It doesn't matter. We put a lot of importance in the days of the new moon and the full moon, and they are very important. But there's still power. The moon didn't go away because it's a new moon. It's still there. We just can't see it, but it's still there. So the energy, we're still being influenced by it. Maybe even interfered by it. There's a frequency and interference there. So even if the moon is half full, it's still there, and we can still feel that energy and the influence that comes through. Okay, we got a card. I'm gonna pull two more for us. So we can get some further guidance. Okay. One more. Oh, awesome. Okay. So right after, this is the last card that came out, but I'm going to start with it because I always associate temperance with angelic, or it's just spirit guides, not just angelic. If you don't associate with angels, just spirit guides in general, that we are being guided, watched over, and protected. I always see the temperance as that. But it's also a card of balance. And I want to point out to the side here, there's a little path with a crown at the end. So it's definitely us finding our path. Again, going back to a lot of us are waking up. A lot of us, I think, are starting to understand spirit guides and starting that connection with them. So it's just trusting in waking up to that path that's being guided to us by our spirit guides. So the other two cards we got is the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So I'm going to start with the Six of Pentacles, and we see these two hands here, and I love how this hand is red because it feels, and I love how it's drawn too, because the style of drawing to me feels very Asian-like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with traditional Asian paintings, but they kind of draw a hand like this. It's a style, it's an art style like that. But what I'm getting is that this hand is spiritual. This hand is our guides just giving to us. But do you see the balance here? They're not giving us too much that we can't handle. Our spirit guides are giving us just enough. They're almost like dripping. They're like giving us a coin. And then we're like, oh, okay, I can process that. And they give us another coin. These coins are communication or intuitive hits or signs or omens, whatever it is, however it is that our spirit guides are contacting us. It seems to me like they're really kind of trying and going for it, but they don't want to just, I don't know, whatever's dramatic major sign, because I think they've done that already. And I'm going to link this for a hot second to the Notre Dame burning, the cathedral. I think that was a major sign from source. Yes, it was terrible and it's very sad and it kind of is a catastrophe, really. But to me, that felt very symbolic of the old institutions. I don't want to just say religious in general, but the old institutions that have been keeping Jesus in this case, right? in a box. Because I'm just associating Jesus because Notre Dame is a Catholic church, right? A Catholic cathedral. So to me, it felt very symbolic that way. That for so long we've put our guides, we've put our spirit guides, we've put God in this building, when really God is everywhere. God is everything. Literally in everything. God is in the cell phone even. I know we talk about, electromagnetic waves and cell phones and technology and the progress of humanity. But God is in everything. Who's to say that our cell phones and our computers were not divinely given? I guess we argue that it wasn't, quote unquote, because it wasn't created by a spiritual guru. It was created by nerds in their garage. No, I'm joking. But it was created by people that we don't associate with spirituality, right? Maybe if I come out with like a new computer, people will be like, oh, that's a high vibrant computer. That'd be awesome, right? If I came up with that. So it's easy for us to put God here because there's a pope or there is a priest or there is someone of a spiritual authority that said, no, this is the way. So we're just like, oh, okay, I guess because I don't know that much, I'm going to kind of follow this person and believe what they say. But I want to go back here to the crown chakra and the interference. Is that now we are waking up to our own connection. We don't need a guy up there anymore. We don't need to go to a church anymore and watch that guy up there feed us his own beliefs or his own interpretation of the Bible, for example, or his own interpretation of any holy book or any holy guidance, really. We're starting to wake up to our own interpretation of that. We're back to that word interpretation. Don't interfere your own interpretation of that. I almost want to make that a mantra. Don't interfere your interpretation. Don't let fear interfere your interpretation. Say that 3 times fast. But I kind of love that. Don't let fear interfere in your interpretation. Because when we allow ourselves to open up to the divine, whoever it is that you believe in, it can be Jesus. To me, he is an awesome energy that I still work with. If it's Archangel Metatron that I sprayed today that wanted to come through, or if it's Lord Ganesh or whoever it is that you associate with, that you relate to, your interpretation of it is your own connection with that. So don't really let people, it's okay to watch people and to see how they do it, almost like fake it till you make it. You can copy someone else's point of view, or you can copy someone else's ritual or prayer. That's totally fine because that was still divinely guided. And there's so much information out there that you maybe find exactly what you're looking for. But it's also okay to read that and go, does that resonate with me? Do I feel good about reading that or connecting with that? Does that resonate with my heart and my own connection with the divine? If yes, then go for it. Awesome. If no, then you just continue to find your own way. And actually that brings me beautifully to the 5 of Swords. Now, traditionally, I know that this card does not look anything like this, but the 5 of Swords usually has to do with like a competition or a sorrow or words being harshly spoken. But I'm actually going to go away from tradition here. Again, the symbolism, going away from tradition, going away from that static dogma. And I'm going to look at this image. For me personally, I'm going to look at this image. So I know that the swords are the suit of the mind. So do you see this staircase and this shadow here going inside? What I'm getting out of this is that we need to go inside our minds. We need to go inside ourselves. Because again, what I'm getting out of this with temperance and this one is that God is not in a building. We don't have to go inside a building. All we have to do is go inside ourselves, inside our mind, to find God, to find source, to find spiritual guidance. Again, there is a lot of information out there, and I think it's good and necessary because I do it too. Even as a professional doing this, professional, right? What is spiritual professional, really? But as a professional tarot reader, I have my own practice of meditation in the morning. I have my own journaling that I do. But I follow people. I follow this psychologist who, she preaches a lot about future self journaling. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that before, but that sounds really cool. I'm going to try it. So I tried it for a few days and I thought it was brilliant because it's almost like you picture your future self and how you would journal if you were that person. Of course you are, that's you in the future and you're going to get there. But let's say we want our dream job, right? We want our dream relationship. We want our dream coming true. Picture yourself already having all of that. And then you future journal, which is, let's say, Dear Diary, right? Today at my dream job, this is what happened and it made me feel awesome. In my dream relationship, we had this conversation or we did this together. You journal as if it already happened, but it's for your future self. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent here, but I didn't download that. I didn't receive that from my own guides, but I saw it. I saw it on my Instagram feed. And I thought that was brilliant. So who's to say I wasn't divinely guided to see that at that moment and to give it a try? Turns out it worked out and it was awesome. Maybe there's something else for you that you tried and you're like, you know what? Wasn't for me. That's totally cool. You leave it and you go find something else that's your own path. But that's what it is. It's all about, on the corner here, finding that path that you relate to. It's not about hearing some guy up on the podium just speaking about his own dogma and you just taking that in. Again, it's awesome to hear other people's opinions. I think that it's actually incredibly intelligent and educated to hear other people's opinions and to take that in and go, do I believe in that? Do I resonate with that? No? Then leave it. Because you might resonate with maybe one phrase that person said, and then that wakes you up to a new thing, right? So no blog, no video, no word, no reading is really fully discarded. Either it was a learning lesson for you to go, you know what, it was not for me, and now I know, because I've learned that it's not for me. Or maybe you take fractions of it and go, I love this, don't really love that, and you leave it. Or maybe you just fully resonate with it and go, I like that, I didn't think about it, but I love it, and it was shown to me, it was said to me, so I'm gonna take that on. So again, what did I say? Don't let fear interfere in your interpretation. I like that. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget it, because I wrote interfere, but I just wanted to know what was coming through. Sorry guys, you're watching me write. Interfere in your own interpretation. Bam. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave it there. I think we actually got an awesome reading. I think we got a really good mantra, maybe a little long, but you could, again, if you have a better mantra that's shorter for you, Or if you just want to use the word don't interfere, words don't interfere, that's awesome. Again, take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. No judgment. Just kind of flow with it. Just the moon cycles. Just, again, with the tides, linking to the moon cycles and the tides, the water just flows. The water just rises and lowers, and it doesn't judge. It doesn't fight. It just flows. So I'm gonna leave it there. Much love to you guys. I hope this really serves you well. I hope it brought you some peace, and don't let fear, oh, I'm so sorry. Now my throat chakra is like going. Sorry. Don't let fear interfere. Much love to you guys. Stay funky out there.